All right, Raider Nation. So, as we all heard, Antonio Pierce has been fired. It did come one day later than what I said it would, according to my insider source. And even Antonio Pierce had me fooled, thinking that he had somehow, some way swayed Mark Davis and Tom Brady from being fired when he did his press conference on Monday, seeming like everything was all good and he was going to continue to be the head coach. And it even had me, myself, second guessing just what I had been told by my sources within the Las Vegas Raiders. But my sources were correct 100%. And so, yes, AP is out the door. Now, here is one thing that has changed, and that is that Mike Vrabel is not going to be interviewing for the head coaching job with the Las Vegas Raiders, as he is now 100% solely interested in becoming the Patriots' next dynasty head coach, or at least he thinks he will be. As he, that job opening with Gerard Mayo being fired now opens up the door for Mike Vrabel to get his dream job and coach the team that he played for and loved so much. Well, I think that's a good thing, because I honestly didn't even want Mike Vrabel to come to the Raiders, because to me, despite the fact that he does have several years of head coaching experience within the NFL, he doesn't play calls and he's not going to solve the offensive problem. And the offense is the problem with the Las Vegas Raiders. And so why go and grab a guy who's still going to rely on an offensive coordinator just like Antonio Pierce did? And he's not even a defensive coordinator genius, and so he's not going to turn our defense into a beast mode defense either. So I'm glad that Mike Vrabel is going to take the Patriots job and that he's not interviewing for the Raiders. What does that mean for the Raiders, though? However, well, it means this. According to my source that I talked to this morning, Cliff Kingsbury will be coming to town to interview with Mark Davis for the potential head coaching candidate job, as well as Ben Johnson. Now, also Marvin Lewis is also on this interview list, as well as Patrick Graham. However, I think it's pretty obvious that Marvin Lewis being on the list is not a serious interview. Marvin Lewis being on the list is simply to comply with the Rooney Rule. The Rooney Rule says that you have to interview 2 minority coaches before making your final decision. That way, the NFL coaches' situation is more equitable, as most players in the NFL are African American, yet most coaches are white, so there is an inequality there. Well, listen, Marvin Lewis is not going to become the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders, and neither is Patrick Graham. These interviews are simply just, get your Rooney Rule situation done with the NFL. The Raiders are 100% focused on 2 offensive-minded coaches for this job, and that is Cliff Kingsbury and Ben Johnson. Full stop. That's it. There's no real other candidate on this job that, if they accept the job, that would be given the job. If Ben Johnson comes to interview and Mark Davis and Tom Brady, and hopefully it's Tom Brady doing the interview and not Mark Davis because he's terrible at this situation. But if Tom Brady is sitting there and either Ben Johnson or Cliff Kingsbury say, yes, I will take the job, but I want X amount of years on my contract. Unlike, what we did with Cliff Kingsbury last year, he could have been our OC, and he may have just become the interim head coach if we fired Antonio Pierce. Then we would have been solved. Or maybe you don't have to fire Antonio Pierce, because Cliff Kingsbury's offense would have been so much better than Luke Getsy's that we wouldn't have had that problem in the first place. So with all of that being said, Tom Brady needs to run these interviews. It cannot be Mark Davis trying to cheapskate these guys. You've got to give these guys what they are worth. Cliff Kingsbury is a fantastic offensive mind. Ben Johnson is a fantastic offensive mind. Now, we know that Cliff Kingsbury didn't do so well in Arizona, but I think that had a lot to do with Kyler Murray just being a completely inconsistent quarterback. The dude is athletically gifted, but he is a dump truck. Reports are that he does not study tape. He doesn't practice well. He just relies on his athleticism for everything. and it didn't pan out. And so Cliff Kingsbury was the fall guy for that. I think that what Cliff Kingsbury's been able to do in Washington with a rookie quarterback, granted, Jaden Daniels is a phenom, but with a rookie quarterback, speaks volumes about the fact that it wasn't Cliff Kingsbury in Arizona. It was Kyler Murray. And can Cliff Kingsbury turn Aiden O'Connell into a star? I don't know. I think he would definitely be better than what we have right now. I think if you go into next season and Aiden O'Connell is your starter, you have a chance at making a wild card playoff run. If you have Cliff Kingsbury or Ben Johnson to coach him up and call the appropriate plays to put him in the best position to succeed. With that also being said, the Raiders need to make a serious, contentious move, and that is to go and get another quarterback in the building. It's probably going to be Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders, in my opinion, is an upgrade over Aiden O'Connell as it is right now. Long term, who knows? They may end up being the exact same quarterback. Is he a huge upgrade over Aiden O'Connell? No, but he is more athletic. He's not uber athletic. He doesn't run a 4.3 or anything, but he can get out of the pocket and he can pick up first downs a lot better than Aiden O'Connell can, and he can play off script better than Aiden O'Connell can. But he holds onto the ball too long, kind of like Aiden O'Connell did last year. And he's cleaned that up this year. He's getting rid of the ball a lot more. But if you really clean up this offensive line, Shedeur Sanders could have a lot of success with the Raiders. If you give him Cliff Kingsbury or Ben Johnson to be his head coach and offensive play caller. That's what the Raiders need now. The Raiders have to fix this offense. If we don't fix the offense this year, sayonara, the 2025 NFL season is already over, because that has been the biggest problem. We need to go out. We need to add a couple of beast guards, hopefully in the second and third round, to shore up everything. Move JPJ back to center, get rid of Andre James, bring in some really good guards, and we've got our left tackle, our right tackle, our center, and some guards. We have a good offensive line, and we have Brock Bowers. Go out and get T. Higgins, grab Shedeur Sanders, if that's who you're going to grab in the draft. If he falls to us at pick number 6, that's fine, and give him an offensive-minded head coach. According to my sources, that is all Mark Davis and Tom Brady are focused on. It will not be a defensive coach. The only reason Mike Vrabel was in the list is because of Tom Brady's relationship with him. And Tom Brady believes that Mike Vrabel is a good head coach, but not an offensive-minded coach. Now that Mike Vrabel is almost a Sherlock to go and take the Patriots' job and basically has told the Raiders, there's no point in me interviewing because I will be the Patriots' head coach, then you got to go out and you got to get offensive-minded one. Ben Johnson, Cliff Kingsbury, either one, I'll take them. Drop your comments down below. Out here on the Raider Ranch, let's go Raiders 2025, baby!